the book was pretty much created itself, and it's an extension to my art. So it's a very personal journey of falling in love with Marfa, basically. We went to Marfa the first time in '96 and fell in love with it, and dreamt of living in Marfa ever since. So in '07, when we moved there permanently for 3 or 4 years, it was the first year of just discovering Marfa, and that's what this book it covers, mostly the first year of my life in Marfa. And it's the people and the textures and the colors, and there's a little poem in the beginning, and it's just my true feelings for Marfa. And it's almost like Marfa is a person, you know, versus a little town. And it's such a bizarre little place because it's sun bleached, and it's like you can go there as a visitor on one day and there's nothing going on. There's little tumbleweeds floating down the road, and you'd be like, this place sucks. And then a week later you would go and you would attend a free concert by Sonic Youth, and it's like, where does these worlds come together? And it's just such a creative little town. It's a how do you say it? It's as an artist, for an artist, it's like inspiration. It's like your mental sorbet, basically, to just get inspired again. And it's just fantastic. The colors and the textures are fantastic. On the poetry thing, I'm dyslexic, so I'm not a writer. And yet, sometimes I would do something, and I would go somewhere, and this poem would just like slap me. And I have to write it down, and I have to get my husband to rewrite it for me. He can't change the rhymes of the words, he just has to correct the spelling for me. And then it's the poem, and he always laughs at me. He's like, you know, how does a dyslexic person become a poet? But apparently it works. So the poem's called My Magical Marfa. Your grass is yellow, your skies are blue, my love inside burns bright and true. I long to stand here, I long for you, your streets, your tower, your tumbleweeds too. Your wind in my face, gravel under shoe, one day in this town, my soul renew. And it's just truly how I feel about Marfa. Because it is absolutely, you know, you go there and a couple of days later, it's like Marfa just pulls the toxins out of your soul. And it's just phenomenal. I just love that town. I'm just looking for a picture of the grasses. Those are the grasses. The locals refer to it as eyelash grass, because it looks like little eyelashes, you know, like false eyelashes that you can stick on your eyes. And that's just everywhere around Marfa. I just love those. The big things about the art for me is always the finish. It's the clear layer, because it makes something that's really dull and lifeless into jewel, like a piece that's kind of like jewelry for your house. So it's very sparkly and very pretty and very clean. And I like to make small pieces because if you have a loft or a condo, you don't have a big wall to donate to a huge piece. Although in the future I would like to make huge pieces, but right now it's just a small little piece. It's almost like a brooch or an earring or something, just really sparkly and pretty for your house. And I really enjoy doing that. I really enjoy creating that. And then the other thing is, if you look closely at the work, you will see incredible detail. This one is a single subject, so it's not that interesting, but like some of my other pieces, if you look closely, you will find really interesting details. There's one piece that I've created, and everything is it creates a horizontal picture, and then one of the slices the horizon is turned on its side, and it's just, there's always like some piece of it's like a surprise. I like to put a surprise in. It's a fun one because not one of the images are in focus, which is like, some people don't understand that. It's like, how would you take a picture and not have it in focus? But if you think about this is called Holiday, and The reason I made it out of focus is for, if you think of your holiday, if you go to a place and you come home, you don't have very clear memories. You have little slivers of memories and they're kind of out of focus. They're fuzzy, you know, you've got this fuzzy little memory of going biking down the main street or the highway of Marfa, and then the tumbleweed overtakes you and you're like, wait! You know, it's just really fun, but you don't have a very clear memory. So this is for everybody who's ever been to Marfa and is dreaming to go back. So it's called The Holiday. As a child, I always was a little odd. All my friends always talked about me as the odd one, and I could never understand why. And I always knew that I saw the world differently. And my dad gave me a camera really early on, and I took a picture, and it's one of my favorite pictures to this day. It's my mom and my dad and my sister, and the camera was too heavy, so the camera kept on going down. So they kept on going down. And eventually, you know, I got the button, but it's such a great photo. And it was like, it's like, you know, the beginning of your world is photography. And so photography has always been part of my life, but as an artist, it pretty much started when I moved to America. South Africa, my part of South Africa that I grew up in was just a little conservative. And they could never see you becoming, you know, self-sufficient and self-standing as an artist. You know, only the weirdos become artists. So I was like, oh, I'm weird, aren't I? so it's mostly in America that I became more full-time an artist. I know, keep Austin weird. How much more perfect can it be? You know, you're just like, this is a heavenly place for a weirdo. I have a couple of things that I'm working on at the moment. I am going to South Africa in the early part of 2011, and I definitely am going specifically to shoot for art. In the past, all I did is I would like go home and I take photos of my family, and they are quite tired of me putting them on the dunes and then on the rocks and then in the streets, and they're like, oh, could you like take something else now? So they are kind of done with me taking pictures of them. But and in this specific trip, what I want is I want to capture my Africa, what I know, what I love, the people, the textures, the colors. It's just an incredible country, and it's like the people are just so sweet. You know, you hear all about the bad and the crime and the murder and all those things, but if you look really at the people, they are so sweet and loving. And then there's one part of the country that really fascinates me is the not the townships, they are the squatter camps, because there's squatter camps everywhere. Outside of every big city, you'll find an enormous squatter camp. And the thing about the squatter camp is, you know, people think, oh, it's the most horrid place on earth because life is squalor, you live in squalor. But it is beautiful because they go out and they find these anything to build their houses from. So the houses are these little blocks of either corrugated iron or, you know, wood or just plastic covers or anything. And the funniest thing is they don't build them straight up. They follow the hills, so the houses lean according to the hills. And that's just, I just, the first time I saw that, I was just like so totally taken aback by that. And everybody was like, are you mad? And I'm like, it is so beautiful. You know, and they're so proud of their little houses. It doesn't matter if it's made out of, you know, sticks and twigs and things. It's their little paradise, and that's where they live. And the best thing is at night, you don't see anything. You just see this occasional little candlelight window, and it's just blackness and then these little candlelight windows, and it's just like, how beautiful can that be? And that's one of my big things that I want to do, is I want to do South Africa. I want them to walk away happy. You know, there's a thing in my life being dyslexic, I think, you know, I've experienced enough pain and suffering and you know, teasing and all those lovely things that goes with disability. And if I can create just a little bit of happiness in this world, beauty, tranquility, calm, I'd be completely happy. Because I have found a piece of art in the past that I looked, you know, it's like in a gallery full of art, and I walked up to it and it like totally stopped me in my tracks, and it was just like, and if I can do that for my audience, I would be the happiest artist in the world. That's what I want.